My name is Clara Myers. I was a simple girl who worked in a small café. One night, a rich man came to the café. His name was Victor Langston. He wore a dark blue suit and had a gold watch. He looked powerful, like someone from another world. He ordered coffee, but instead of drinking it, he asked me many questions. Do you live alone? Do you have dreams? I was nervous but also curious. Later that week, he came again. He left a big tip, more money than I made in a whole day. After some weeks, he asked me to meet him outside work. He drove a black car and took me to a big restaurant. I had never eaten in such a place. Slowly, I started to see him more. He gave me gifts, flowers, and even a silver necklace. One day he looked at me and said, "Clara, will you marry me?" My life changed that moment. Our wedding was very small. No family, no friends, only a lawyer and 2 people from his office. I wore a white dress, but I felt like it was not my real life. After the wedding, Victor took me to his house. It was not a house, it was a mansion. Tall glass windows, a golden gate, a garden full of roses. Inside there were many rooms, paintings on the walls, chandeliers, marble floors. I was lost in that world of money. That first night he gave me rules. Do not ask me about business. Do not open my study room. Be loyal and you will have everything. I felt strange, but I told myself it was fine. Days passed. He gave me clothes, shoes, even a small diamond ring. He hired a driver for me and a teacher to help my sick mother. Life looked perfect. But deep inside I felt empty, like a guest in someone else's story. One rainy evening, I sat in the living room reading. Suddenly, I heard the doorbell. The maid opened the door. A tall woman entered. She wore a red coat and her eyes were sharp. She looked at me and smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "So, you are the new Mrs. Langston," she said. My hands turned cold. "Who are you?" I asked. She laughed softly. "My name is Lydia Cross. I was with Victor before you. He promised to marry me." My heart dropped. I felt dizzy. She walked closer, her heels making hard sounds on the floor. "Did he tell you about me? Did he tell you about the nights we spent here?" I looked away, but she touched the wall, touched the sofa, like she knew this house too well. Then Victor walked in. His face froze when he saw her. He said, "Lydia, leave now." But she only whispered, "You cannot hide me forever." That night I could not sleep. My mind kept hearing her words. In the morning, I asked Victor, "Who is Lydia?" He was silent for a long time. Then he said, "She was part of my past. She does not matter now." He kissed my hand and left for work, but I knew something was wrong. Later, I spoke to the housekeeper, Mrs. Green. She was old, with kind eyes. I asked her about Lydia. She sighed deeply. "Miss Lydia lived here for many years. Everyone thought she would be Mrs. Langston one day, but suddenly she was gone. Nobody knows why." My chest hurt. I remembered Lydia's cold smile. That afternoon, I went to Victor's study even though he told me never to enter. The door was locked, but the key was still inside. I opened it slowly. Papers, photos, files, many things were there. On the desk, I saw a frame. Inside was Lydia's photo. I touched the photo and heard a noise. The door opened fast. Victor was there, his eyes like fire. "Clara, what are you doing here?" he shouted. I stepped back. "I wanted to know the truth. Why is Lydia's photo on your desk?" His face turned cold. He took the photo, put it inside a drawer, and locked it. "Never touch my things again. Lydia is nothing to you." He walked out, leaving me shaking. That night at dinner, he was silent. I tried to speak, but he looked at me like a stranger. After he went upstairs, I cried alone in the kitchen. Mrs. Green came and gave me tea. She whispered, "Be careful, child. This house has many secrets. Mr. Langston hides more than you can imagine." I nodded, but my heart was heavy. I wanted to believe Victor loved me, but now doubt grew inside me like a shadow. Days later, Victor told me to dress for a charity party. The hall was full of rich people, music, lights. I stayed by his side smiling, trying to look like a happy wife. But then I saw Lydia. She was there in a silver dress talking with other men. She looked at me and raised her glass with a smirk. My stomach turned. I whispered to Victor, "Why is she here?" He did not answer. He only said, "Ignore her." But I could not. She walked over and touched Victor's arm. "You still bring your toys to parties?" she said loudly. People around us looked shocked. Victor pulled her hand away and walked me outside. In the car, he was angry. "Do not listen to her. She only wants to hurt you." But his voice shook, like he was hiding fear. On the way home, I wondered, if Lydia was lying, why did he look so guilty? One afternoon, when Victor was away, Lydia came again. She stood at the gate and shouted my name. "Clara, you deserve to know the truth." I ran outside before the guard stopped her. She held out a letter. "Read this. He gave it to me once. He promised me marriage, children, a future. He lied to me, just like he lies to you now." She pushed the paper into my hand and left. I opened it inside. It was Victor's handwriting. "To my dear Lydia, I promise one day you will be my wife." My heart broke. That night I confronted Victor. "Did you write this?" He looked at the letter, then at me. His face turned pale. He did not answer. Instead, he took the paper and burned it in the fireplace. I cried, "Why do you hide from me?" He walked away without a word. That silence cut deeper than any truth. After that, I could not trust him. I started searching his office when he was away. In a drawer, I found many bank papers, some in his name, some in Lydia's. Why were her name and his together on money? One evening, Mrs. Green told me quietly, "Miss Lydia knows things about Mr. Langston's business, dangerous things. She was once his partner." My blood ran cold. I asked, "Partner in what?" She whispered, "Not clean work, money that should not exist. I understood little, but fear grew stronger. That night, Lydia called me from an unknown number. Clara, listen. Victor is not who you think. He will never let you leave. You must protect yourself. Then the line cut. My hands shook. Who should I believe? My husband or his ex? Both scared me, but the truth scared me most. Soon, I noticed Victor becoming more controlling. He checked my phone, asked where I went, who I spoke with. One morning, I told him I wanted to visit my mother. He said, "No, you stay here." His voice was like iron. I felt trapped. Later, when he left, I secretly visited my mother with the driver's help. I cried in her small apartment, telling her I felt lost. She held my hand and said, "Clara, never let fear control you. Find the truth." Those words gave me courage. I returned to the mansion and started writing down everything: dates, names, meetings. I even followed Victor once. He met a man in a dark street and gave him a bag. I hid and watched. My chest beat so hard I thought it would break. When I returned home, Lydia's words echoed in my ears. You must protect yourself. One evening, Victor invited important men to dinner. I served wine with Mrs. Green. I heard them whisper about moving money and offshore names. I pretended not to listen, but I wrote it down later. After the guests left, Lydia appeared at the gate again. This time Victor saw her. He shouted at the guards, "Do not let her in again!" But Lydia screamed, "Clara, the company is in your name. He cannot touch it without you." My knees shook. I asked Victor later, "What company?" He stayed silent. I pressed him. Finally, he admitted, "When we married, I put one company under your name. It was for business reasons. Do not worry about it." But now I understood. Lydia was right. I had power he did not want me to know about. That night, I could not sleep. The papers I had signed were not just for marriage. They were my weapon. I met Lydia secretly in a café. She told me everything. Victor's company makes money in illegal ways. He hides it with women's names. You are one of them. But now the law says the company is yours. He cannot take it back. My head spun. I asked, "Why are you telling me this?" She looked tired. "Because I was once where you are. I lost everything. Do not let him break you too." I returned home and looked at Victor. He smiled at me like nothing was wrong. That night, he gave me a diamond bracelet. "Happy anniversary," he said. I looked at him and smiled, but inside I burned. I decided that moment I would not be his victim. I would use the power in my name. I started planning my escape carefully. I needed to be free before he destroyed me completely. On our wedding anniversary, I placed divorce papers on the table. Victor laughed. "You cannot leave. You are nothing without me." I looked into his eyes. "No, Victor, you gave me money. But I used that money to learn. I know the company is in my name. The law says it is mine now." His smile faded. He shouted, but I stayed calm. I picked up my bag and walked out. I did not take the jewels, not the clothes, not the cars. I left everything behind, except my freedom. Lydia met me outside. She held my hand. "You did it, Clara." I nodded. Tears filled my eyes, but they were not sad tears. I was free, strong, and ready for a new life. Victor had tried to own me, but he gave me the key to escape. And that day, I walked away forever, with power in my hands and hope in my heart.